Place is fucked.
What the hell? Is that?
What the fuck is that?
Go, 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 go! Tripwire! Oh, tripwire, 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 tripwire! Oh, shit! Yeah, dude.
Exploring abandoned places is all fun and games until you realize you're not alone. What starts as an exciting adventure can quickly turn into a nightmare, and that's exactly what happened in these 4 most horrifying encounters. Tonight, we're going to uncover the creepy, sinister details of these abandoned building encounters that will make the hair on the back of your neck stand up. This first encounter is something that is not going to get out of your head so easily. In 2016, Jay Swingler, Keon, and Rornell Henry, the dynamic trio behind TGF Bro, decided to explore an abandoned school in Kidminster, England. Known for their daring escapades and adventurous spirit, they were no strangers to exploring eerie locations.
This is TGF, guys. Fucking ill.
I got Tim's on. And since it's Halloween, we thought we would start the month off with searching an abandoned school.
However, this particular adventure would prove to be more terrifying than they ever anticipated. The school, once a place of learning and laughter, had been left to decay, its hallways silent and its classrooms empty. The dilapidated structure stood as a haunting reminder of the past, with graffiti-covered walls, broken windows, and debris strewn across the floors. The atmosphere was thick with an unsettling silence, broken only by the occasional creak of the building settling. Armed with flashlights and a camera to document their exploration, Jay, Keon, and Rommel entered the forsaken building.
This abandoned shit actually doesn't scare me as much anymore.
It's alright, it's alright.
It's just more fun than anything.
The initial excitement of the adventure quickly gave way to a sense of unease as they navigated the dark, labyrinthine corridors. Every step echoed ominously, and the beam of their flashlights revealed the eerie remnants of the school's former life. As they ventured deeper into the building, the tension escalated. The oppressive darkness seemed to close around them, and the silence was deafening. The trio's banter became more subdued as the reality of their isolation set in. The abandoned school, with its decaying infrastructure and haunting ambiance, felt like a place where time had stood still, a place that was better left undisturbed. But then they suddenly stumbled upon a huge mystery. Balloons floating in the middle of the room?
What the fuck is that? Bro, that's fucking balloon!
What could have been creepier than helium-filled balloons? The trio tried to laugh it off. However, things started to become more sinister after that. They thought of leaving first, but their curiosity got the better of them. Suddenly, the silence was shattered by an unexpected sound.
What the fuck, bro?
Yo, real talk, yeah. Bro, nah, dude, that's something, nah, dude, promise you, yeah, that's gotta be something metal, man. Bro, nah, dude, hold on, dude, nah, bro, for real, yeah, hold on, dude, that was something just clanging against a wall, bro.
A faint, rhythmic noise that seemed out of place in the desolate building. The trio paused, straining to identify the source of the sound. Their flashlights flickered as they scanned their surroundings, the narrow beams cutting through the darkness. The sound grew louder and more distinct.
Did you fucking hear that, dude?
A metal clinking, like chains dragging across the floor. Their curiosity piqued, but so did the tension in the air. The sound led them to a corridor they hadn't yet explored, its entrance partially obscured by a fallen door. As they approached, the temperature seemed to drop, and a sense of dread settled over them. And suddenly, they saw a figure, the figure of a clown in tattered clothes.
Dude, fuck that, dude!
Oh, bro, it's a fucking game! Did you? Dude, fucking hurry up, bro! Oh, bro, fuck, he's coming! Bro, I don't know where the fuck he's going.
Panic surged through the three as they realized the figure was approaching them. Their fight or flight instincts kicked in, and they chose flight. They turned and ran, their breaths coming in ragged gasps as they navigated the treacherous hallways, the sound of their pursuers' footsteps echoing behind them. The once silent building was now filled with the sounds of a desperate chase, the clatter of footsteps, the clinking of chains, and the occasional haunting laugh from the clown. Their flight led them to a classroom. Frantically, they searched for a place to hide, their flashlights casting erratic beams around the room.
Yo, help Jay with this.
Wait! No, I don't know what the fuck to do! I don't know what to do! Get in here!
They spotted a side room in the corner and plummeted inside, pulling the door shut as the clown followed them around. They tried to catch their breath, but in the meantime, the clown was upon their heads. Through the upper opening of the doors, the camera focused as the clown strutted towards them, its movements deliberate and menacing.
Dude, that just did not happen.
Bro, what's going on? It's getting really fucking close!
Fuck this, dude.
They shouted, screamed, and ran for their lives. Around them, every shadow seemed to conceal a threat, every sound a potential danger. The once thrilling adventure had become a nightmare, and their only goal was to escape unscathed. Finally, they reached the exit and burst into the cool night air, their relief palpable. They didn't stop running until they were far from the abandoned school and near to their car, the haunting experience etched into their memories.
Are you planning to go in there? There's a fucking clown in there, like planting balloons around and that.
I swear to fucking God, I'm not bullshit.
Yo, we are going home and we are never fucking going back there.
The video of their encounter quickly went viral, captivating audiences with its raw depiction of fear and the unknown. To this day, the identity of the clown remains a mystery. Was it a prankster taking advantage of the location's reputation? A fellow explorer with a dark sense of humor? Or something more sinister? The questions remain unanswered, adding to the chilling allure of the footage. This harrowing experience serves as a stark reminder of the dangers that can lurk in the corners, ready to pounce upon us at any moment. If you found this encounter chilling, then wait. The next one is going to make your blood run cold. Exploring abandoned places is one thing, but venturing into the asylum in the woods at night? That's a whole different level of terrifying. Darkness swallows everything. Strange sounds seem to come from every direction, and worst of all, you never really know who or what is out there with you. YouTube's favorite paranormal duo, Sam and Colby, are no stranger to scary encounters. From haunted asylums to cursed ghost towns, they've spent years chasing the unknown. It was September 11th, 2017. Sam and Colby, led by the Ireland boys, had set out to explore a dense, eerie forest.
What's up, guys? It's Sam and Colby.
Today, we are all exploring abandoned mental asylum. This thing is insane, and we are here with the Ireland Boys production.
Yes, it's called Forest Haven. A lot of people have died here. Supposedly it's haunted. It's surrounded by security, so we might get caught.
The atmosphere was already unsettling, pitch black, the trees towering over them like ominous shadows, and the only sound being the crunch of leaves beneath their feet.
This is what happened. This is why it's abandoned. Basically, there were a lot of people that got admitted here that weren't technically insane, like blind people, deaf people, just a bunch of people, so it became overcrowded, and eventually a lot of them started dying because they couldn't take care of everybody. Therefore, it became abandoned, and I guess they've kept it up ever since.
They weren't just wandering aimlessly, though. Their goal was to navigate through the thick woods and uncover what secrets lay hidden within. But as they ventured deeper, the tension in the air became almost suffocating. While they roamed around, they also spotted other people around them there.
Wait. Should we get the out of here?
Which was a bit weird, but things were just fine till then. And then it happened. A distant scream pierced through the silence of the night. It wasn't just any scream, it was the sound of pure terror.
Did you get that?
Yeah, I got that. Somebody is screaming.
Someone's screaming bloody murder.
A woman's voice, crying out in the darkness, desperate and full of panic. For a moment they froze. Was it an animal? A prank? Or was someone actually in danger? Their minds raced with possibilities, but one thing was certain: this wasn't normal. The group exchanged nervous comments, trying to make sense of what they had just heard. The scream had come from deep within the forest, far enough that they couldn't see anything, but close enough that they knew it wasn't their imagination. Then, just as suddenly as it started, the forest fell silent again. And that's when the paranoia set in. They had heard stories before, urban legends about people disappearing in the woods, strange figures lurking in the darkness, and chilling encounters that left people running for their lives. But this was real. Should we go check it out? One of them whispered. Then that's when another scream rang out, louder, closer. Whatever was happening, it wasn't over.
Guys, what the you hear that? Yeah, get out of here! Go! Guys, run!
Now they had a choice. Run in the opposite direction and get the hell out of there, or move toward the sound and see if someone needed help. Splitting up was not an option, and neither was staying still. Their instincts screamed at them to leave, but something about the urgency of the woman's cries made them hesitate.
Listen.
Somebody's legit crying for help right now. You gotta go help.
You have to go, Kobe. Run!
Colby took a deep breath. "We have to at least see what's going on," he said. But no one else was ready, and so, gripping their flashlights tightly, they cautiously moved forward. Every step deeper into the woods felt like a step closer to something they weren't supposed to witness. The trees around them seemed to close in, the air felt heavier, and the tension was unbearable. That's when they realized it wasn't just the screams. They weren't alone in the woods. Before they could even react, the screams started again. But this time, they weren't distant. They were closer, louder than ever.
Get out of here!
They turned and ran, full speed, crashing through the branches, breathless, their hearts pounding in their chests. After what felt like an eternity, they finally saw a clearing in the distance, a way out of the forest. They sprinted towards it, lungs burning and the scream still echoing behind them. As soon as they made it out of the tree line, they collapsed onto the ground, grasping for breath. Shaken but determined to find out the truth, they later discovered the horrifying reality of what had happened that night. The woman's screams they had heard, they weren't just some ghostly apparition or a prank. They had unknowingly been present at the scene of a real-life crime.
Girl screaming, helicopter going over, bro.
That cop sped by. What if somebody's getting like attacked right now?
So I literally think someone's getting attacked in that asylum.
Yeah.
There was a girl screaming, "Help!" Bloody murder, crying.
Like clearly
right
here, like clearly.
right there. Yeah, 100%, like multiple times. Like, and it was consistent. It wasn't like they were playing a game. She was getting attacked. That girl was not screaming for just games. That's like
She was in trouble.
she was in trouble.
It sounded like like pain.
I feel so bad.
I feel really bad.
The screams belonged to Lauren Wallen, a Maryland high school teacher who had gone missing. That very night, she was being murdered by her boyfriend, Tyler Tessier.
Mrs. Wallen's boyfriend was arrested for her murder.
Laura was 4 months pregnant with his child, and fearing exposure to his double life, having both a fiancée and a pregnant girlfriend, Tessier lured Laura into the woods under false pretenses. Sam, Colby, and their friends had been unknowingly standing in the same area where Tessier buried Laura's body in a shallow grave. They had heard her final cries for help, but had no idea at the time that a brutal crime was unfolding just beyond the trees. Later, investigators would confirm the terrifying timeline, placing Sam, Colby, the Ireland boys, Laura, and her murderer in the same woods at the exact same time. Reflecting on that night, Sam and Colby admitted they had never felt fear like that before. At the time, they thought they were dealing with something paranormal, but knowing that they had been so close to a horrific murder and that they had heard Laura's actual cries for help left them deeply unsettled.
That girl was not screaming for just games. That's like
She was in trouble.
she was in trouble.
It sounded like like pain.
I feel so bad.
To this day, the memory of that night haunts them. The reality that they were just feet away from a killer burying his victim is more terrifying than any ghost story they've ever encountered. Some mysteries are best left unsolved, but this case, the truth was far more horrifying than anything supernatural. So, are you enjoying the video? Keep watching because we've got 2 more encounters for you. Eastern State Penitentiary. Just the name alone sends chills down the spine. Built in 1829, this Philadelphia prison was the first to introduce solitary confinement as a form of rehabilitation. The idea was that total isolation would make prisoners reflect on their crimes and find redemption, but in reality, it drove many of them completely insane. The stone walls of this now abandoned prison have witnessed centuries of pain, madness, and violence, and many believe its former inmates never really left. Enter Colton and Casey from Mindseed TV. These two have explored some of the most haunted locations in the world, but this time, they were stepping into one of America's most notorious paranormal hotspots. It was March 11th, 2019, and both, equipped with cameras, spirit boxes, and nerves of steel, or so they thought, ventured into the decaying remains of Eastern State, unaware that something was already waiting for them.
These rooms are so small, it's like extremely tiny. If there's any spirits or any kind of activity down here, can you make this EMF detector move?
The atmosphere was unsettling from the start. The prison stood eerily silent, its crumbling hallways swallowing sound like a black hole. As the two made their way through the cold, damp corridors, it felt as if the air itself was pressing in on them. There was no mistaking it. Something was watching. And then they saw a shadow of a ghost. To get the most activity, they decided to start their investigation in the abandoned chapel, a place where prisoners once prayed for salvation. Hoping to make contact, they set up a Ouija board, and what did they hear?
Sounds like this is stop it again. It's like the same voice over and over. Listen. Hey, if that was you saying stop it, can you say it again? Dude, stop right back to back. Holy shit. Stop what? What do you want us to stop?
The same voice repeated over and over again. But that was not all. A loud metal clatter rang out through one of the cells above. Colton's heart pounded. Had something just moved?
We definitely heard. It sounded like a faint clink. I don't know. Holy shit. A light just died or something over here.
Both of them tried to figure out what the sound was, but there was no solid explanation. But the feeling of being watched grew stronger. As they rounded up another corridor, Casey decided to try the thermal. He pulled out his thermal, hoping for some kind of response. Static buzzed, and then a spot appeared on the screen. The hairs on the back of his neck stood up.
What is that?
He quickly called out to Steve, who was at the other end of the corridor, and he came running. Steve saw Casey's face and immediately knew something was wrong. Dude, what happened? He barely caught his breath before blurting out what had happened. On the thermal, a whole cloud had appeared like a head, and they both decided to take advantage of the opportunity to talk to the spirit.
It's like a orange sphere, but it was like it was coming out of this, and then it went back and disappeared.
Oh, shit, dude.
You see that? You see that? You see that? Look, 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 look. It's moving. It's moving. You see it, right?
Yeah.
You see it? Aim your light in there now. Aim your light in there now. Look at that shit. What the fuck is that? It's moving.
They chose a spot and set up the spirit box. They asked the spirit different questions, and the device sounded many bleeps as if it was going crazy.
You hear him whispering?
Yeah.
Who's here with us right now? Can you say a name?
The temperature was going down, and neither of them had any idea what was going on. Determined to get more answers, they decided to push forward. They explored the prison's infamous death row, where inmates who had committed the worst crimes spent their last days. Disembodied whispers echoed through the hall, and shadows seemed to move just out of view, but nothing compared to what Colton had experienced in the North Cell block.
Dude, you almost hit a backflip.
I fucking knocked 10 bench over. Happy birthday, bro.
By the time they finally left the prison, there was no doubt in their minds. Eastern State Penitentiary was still very much alive with something or someone.
However, I would put a stamp on Eastern State Penitentiary and say that this place is definitely haunted.
Maybe it was the spirits of long-dead inmates trapped in their eternal punishment. Maybe it was the lingering energy of centuries of suffering. Or maybe, just maybe, some places never truly let go of the past. One thing was certain: some mysteries should never be solved, but that won't stop people from trying. If you're enjoying it, then you must listen to the next one. On the night of May 7th, 2017, 3 friends, Lewis, James, and Tom, set out on what they thought would be a routine exploration. Their YouTube channel, Lewis Clark, was known for daring urban adventures, and this time, they had chosen an abandoned mental asylum left to decay for over 30 years.
This is known as the most haunted place in Great Britain. Guys, look at this place.
The place had a dark reputation, rumored to be the haunting ground for both spirits and squatters, but the thrill of the unknown was too tempting to resist. As they approached the crumbling structure, an eerie silence hung in the air.
Wait, why is that torch having an epilepsy? I don't know. Because the wires are...
The asylum's walls were cracked, the floors peeling, and the ceilings barely holding together. Nature had begun reclaiming the place, but something about it felt off, as if the building itself was warning them to turn back. The sun was still setting, casting long shadows through the shattered windows, and they decided to wait until darkness truly took over before diving into the exploration. At first, everything seemed normal, just another abandoned building stripped of anything valuable. Disappointed, they wandered the halls, looking for something interesting to document. That's when it happened.
Oh my God.
Screeches echoed through the asylum, making them freeze in place. Something had been thrown, but by whom? They tried to shake it off, telling themselves it was probably just debris falling. Yet deep down, they all knew they weren't alone. As they continued, they spotted something in the darkness. Satan was written on the wall. While this was eerie, a strange smell was also coming from that place.
Guys, the amount of asbestos in here is gonna kill us, I swear. You can smell it.
They turned and bolted, adrenaline surging through their veins. Dodging debris pushing through the broken doorways, they didn't look back. Their only goal was to escape while safe. By the time they burst through the asylum doors and into the open night air, their hearts were still racing. However, something crazier waited for them.
Where's she shouting at us? Where's she shouting at us? She's shouting at us. Get in the cop, get in the cop.
A woman lighting a torch at them was shouting. Breathless, they turned to each other, trying to process what was just happening. But then they quickly got in the car and rode away. Ghosts probably haunted the asylum, and even if it was another person trying to scare them, the 3 called the police and let them know about the creepy place. One thing was certain: this was one exploration they would never forget. While this seems entertaining and all fun and games, the one thing should be kept in mind: safety comes first. That's all for today, folks. If you want to watch more of this sinister content, then like and subscribe and explore our other videos on the channel.